Hi guys, how are you doing? Long time no see. Time for an update, right? I am in beautiful Redondo Beach, California. If you don't know where that is, it's a suburb of Los Angeles. Down by the ocean, as you can see, that is the Redondo Beach Marina. What a beautiful, beautiful day. I can see the mountains off in the distance. If you look off to the right, I'm not sure if you can see those mountains there. But anyway, I just want to give you an update of what's going on. Don't want to take a lot of your time, but I wanted to tell you that things are progressing well as far as the situation of doing this scientific study on how well this protocol has been working for me. It's been a bugger to stick to. It's been really hard sometimes, but I've given it sometimes I think I've given it almost my best. You try really hard, and sometimes you're just so tired of doing this, but it's the discipline that's going to carry you through. It's the fighting that's going to carry you through. It's your team of people that are going to carry you through. And that all makes up what I call my protocol. I don't know. It's just a list of things that I have that have really helped me from day one when I got this diagnosis back in April of 2021. That's this year when I'm shooting this video. In March, early this year, in January, February, March, I was having this crazy thing going on with my body, itching, a lot of itching going on. I had jaundice, it's turning colors, and went to my doctor, and she said, I don't know what we're dealing with, but it looks like it's liver related. Let's send you to a gastroenterologist. So I went there. He ordered some ultrasound scans and also an MRI, and came back and said, you have a tumor, and it's close to your bile ducts between your gallbladder and your liver, so I think we should have this further looked at. In the meantime, let me put a stent in your bile duct because they're totally choked off by this tumor, and get that going for you. And as soon as that stent went in, my bile duct, I automatically turned normal color, and the itching went away, and that's the way it's been since then. Since that day, I've had another stent put in, and then after that, what's called a permanent stent. I'm not sure how permanent is in the medical world, but we shall see, right? I changed gastroenterologists because this one that I had initially was very negative, and I think to make this whole protocol work, you have to have a band of positive people on your team, from your family, your relatives, the people that you surround yourself with, all the way up to your oncologist, and any other medical team that works with you has to be a positive force in your day-to-day. This guy was not. I asked my oncologist if he thought it was a bad idea that I change midstream, another gastroenterologist, and they had a guy that they highly recommended. And I'm telling you, this guy is like a dream come true. He's one of the few people in the area where I live in Southwest Florida that could do the procedure that I had done, and that is to get this permanent stent put in and to do this particular procedure, which also involved getting some of the tissue surrounding the area in a I don't know how you can say invasive, but it was less invasive than the other procedure, which the other guy did. This was using more sonogram and then seeing through tissue and getting pictures that way, and instead of actually jamming a camera down there and opening up different places and trying to see in there. So since that has happened, I have been doing since March 14th, somehow miraculously, and I was talking about this with my son this morning. I said, if you look back at this, when I start telling people my story, it's more of I don't know who and what you believe in out there, spiritually, if you believe in the universe or spirit or God or, whatever. But spiritually, this thing just came all into some kind of improbable alignment, that just everything went right from the get-go. And somehow when I got that diagnosis that I had a tumor, I immediately went on Google and started Googling, okay, how to get rid of a tumor. Now, at the time, I was also doing a little research on a fellow up in Canada, a philosopher named Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson, has all kinds of videos, and I kind of like the way he, debated and that kind of thing. And that was about it. Other than that, I really had no particular interest. But on the same page of Google, when I put in the word tumor, some things came back about Jordan Peterson, and that someone in his family did have some challenges with their health, and they used diet as a medicine. And it was come to find out it was his daughter, Michaela Peterson, that did have some health challenges, and I believe she's on a carnivore diet, and which I had known about before because I had some inflammation from my job in my shoulders, and was on Twitter one day, and I was reading these guys having all these breakthroughs with a meat-only based diet, and I thought, how can that be? And I asked, I said, don't you need fiber in your diet too? Don't you need vegetables? And the guy said, look, try going carnivore for a week, and at the end of the week, come back and tell me how you feel. And man, I'm telling you, at the end of the week, the inflammation in my shoulders was completely gone, has never come back, as a matter of fact. And I still do eat red meat. But I believe it's a combination of that and the Michaela thing, and also me searching on Google, that I came up with this ketogenic diet, keto and cancer, which I would have never put the two together. But I dug further, and for me it was more I wanted to see like the scientific research behind everything. I didn't want to hear about people who had cures in California, even though I love this place. I mean, the weather here is just fantastic. It's a little bit chilly here in the shadows, but out there in the sun, I was walking earlier today out there. I mean, it's amazing. It's fantastic. The humidity is perfect. And, I know why people move here. I certainly do. So, I didn't want some kind of a cure for one or two people. I wanted to find out if something had been done scientifically in the lab where they had taken mice and then maybe humans and had fed them this certain type of diet or done something or used a certain type of medicine with them, and they had these terrific results. Whatever it was I wanted to have, for me, that would satisfy my scientific curiosity and scientific proof. And through the ketogenic diet, I had just so much research has been done, and I encourage you to become your own advocate of your own life or of your loved one and search this stuff out, because there's plenty on there. There's plenty of proof that a ketogenic diet, especially a therapeutic ketogenic diet, will starve off cancer, most cancers, and is very beneficial in mitigating just tons of stuff that come along with the cancer, and also metabolic diseases. So this is stuff. It's not really breakthrough, because it was breakthrough maybe back in the 60s and 70s when people were really seeing the results for the very first time. Actually, the ketogenic diet was begun at the turn of the century in the early 1900s, when it was used for a cure for epilepsy in small children. They gotta do their job. Okay. So that was used all the way, I think, through the 1940s for curing epilepsy in children. Diet, believe it or not, they use food as medicine, like Hippocrates wanted, right? He told us that long ago. And in the 40s, they developed a medicine, some kind of a chemical drug that they used in the children. It also did almost the same thing as far as mitigating the effects of epileptic seizures. So they stopped using ketogenic diet and went to using the medicine. So ketogenic diets were kind of like put on the back burner for years and years. And then finally, when the keto craze, the Atkins diet and ketogenic diet, the low carb, low sugar, high fat, and moderate protein diets came in, they found to have such a profound effect on getting the body into homeostasis, which is getting the body into a balanced pattern. When the body is in balance, it almost like it miraculously heals itself, almost of anything. So, and they were finding this out, that when they gave the body what it really wanted, the diet that it really could use and really burned the fuel efficiently, that the body can just thrive. It does miraculous things. We are the ones that put all this weight on the body by giving it like horrible oils and horrible carbs and horrible sugars, and just filling it full of things that are like way off the path, right? So I started on the ketogenic diet, and not just keto, but therapeutic keto. I mean, zero sugar, zero carbs, no tolerance at all for any kind of crappy stuff, right? And cleaned up my diet. And I also did this high fat thing too. And I bought initially the Keto Mojo, which is a meter, a device that's sort of like a glucose meter. It does have a glucose meter and also a keto meter on it that shows you if you're in ketosis, and also where you are on this GKI index, which is a glucose ketone index. And for the therapy that I'm doing, I found that I wanted to be around a 3. I haven't always been there. Sometimes things happen, travel happens, emotionally things will happen, even though I'm a super laid back guy. But I've had like super good results in doing this, using this therapeutic ketogenic diet. And then there was a pulse part of this therapy too. The press would be the ketogenic diet. You're pressing the cancer cells into where they're starving. And then what you want to do is punch them, right? So it's a pulse. The pulse was the chemotherapy, which I didn't really start until like late June. So I haven't been doing that as long as the ketogenic diet. But I got tremendous results, especially in my blood numbers on the ketogenic diet. Also, any scans they did, they noticed that the tumor wasn't growing. Matter of fact, in areas that they thought that it may have been spreading, it seemed like those areas just disappeared. They couldn't find them anymore. On the this is Los Angeles, guys, on the charts, on the scans, so everything was going great. And then when I started doing chemo, the things even got better. So that was more of a punch to the cancer cells. So much so that, I had told some of my story on Twitter, and then to some scientific research people. They became extremely interested, and they said, wow, what you're doing is working. But mine was with a little twist, and that's what they're, kind of excited about as well, is that you took the press pulse therapy, as it's called. Press using the ketogenic diet, pulse using some kind of adjunct, like either some kind of a pill or a chemotherapy or something that would further press the cancer cells. So, and that's what I started doing, this chemotherapy, and it just, things even got even better. They have found that if you do the ketogenic diet alone or the chemotherapy alone, you don't get as good results as you do when you use those two together in synergy. So that's very interesting to note. And the results is not just, a +1, it's like extremely good when they're used together. So these guys started taking interest in me. They said, maybe we could do a scientific paper on what you do. What do you do? We want to know all the stuff. Not only your numbers, they want to know all the data, of course, but they want to know other things, because I've added other things in there the more I've studied them, particularly after diet. Fasting is so freaking important. in my, what I call my protocol. You call it whatever you want, my therapy, Dave's protocol, Dave's therapy, whatever. But it works for me. Fasting, intermittent fasting, long-term fasting, fasting before chemo. I do like several different types of fasts. And when I do a fast, I do a fast. We do a water fast. I've tried doing fasting mimicking, which has usually busted me out of ketosis and done other things. I haven't really got that down yet. I know some researchers are going to be doing some more stuff on the fasting mimicking, because if we can do more of the fasting mimicking, which means we fast but we eat a teeny bit of food, but we're still sort of like we're hacking the body, saying that we're not really eating but we are, and the body thinks, well, I'm still in a fast, I'm not getting the nutrition I need. That's why it says it's mimicking a fast. So I'm going to still do the same things, autophagy, creating a better immune system, coming back with, bigger, stronger, better cells. The body still does all this. I haven't gotten that part down yet. So I just do the water fast, which gets me there quickly. And, if you can do it, because it's super beneficial. Okay, sleep. Oh man, this past 6 months I found out how beneficial sleep is to health. Sleep is to just longevity. Sleep is just like so many things in our lives. I used to think that, I need enough sleep so I don't fall asleep during one of my trips or something like that. But it's so much more than that. If you get like proper sleep, your body once again is able to take care of itself. The body's not stupid. The body's going to do everything it can to keep you alive, to keep you protected, to keep the good things happening in your life, and to repair a lot of the damage that you have done or other things have done to your body. So it's good in that way too, right? Sleep. I put a lot of value into a positive mental attitude, and whatever that means to you. For me, it means a lot of mental work, and also surrounding myself with a tribe of people who are positive. They are rooting for me. They are wanting to, be with me, give me strength, cheer me on things that I do. You got to have that behind you. You can't do this alone. You got to stay in that positive mental attitude. You can't go off and be like, you know what? I think this is the end. Got to get my affairs in order. I got cancer. I'm going to die, and we're all going to die, But once you get into a positive mental attitude, you can like put a lot of these other crazy feelings on the back burner, or just expel them out of your life. It's up to you. And speak thinking on and cultivating great thought in your mind. This goes a long way as far as healing in your body, healing yourself mentally, and being able to cope with a lot of this, challenge that we call cancer. So another thing is meditation. I think that's very, very useful in this kind of challenge. I'll start calling it a challenge because it is. And some of the other things I have in there are exercise. What are some of the other things that I do as well? Supplementation is a huge thing. I've found supplements. I started out using some, and then I stopped using others because I found out that they weren't so good for me. And one of the biggest ones that I'll tell you in the last few months has been melatonin. So do your research on melatonin and the cancer that you have, and see if it's going to be beneficial to you. Get with your nutritionist and find out if that is something that you can use and get on it right away, okay? And vitamin C as well, heavy doses. We're talking like therapeutic doses of this stuff, right? So there you go. I just want to give the update I want to give you is now we're going to start collecting the data. I'm going to start putting together on paper more and more my protocol. I'm going to start interviewing people that have been like my gurus in this protocol. I want to get this down to where other people can access it and go, you know what, this has worked for Dave, maybe it can work for me. I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not anything other than a guy that took it upon my shoulders to go out and find out what would work, try it, try to look at the scientific evidence that it did work, and keep listening. Have an open mind, listen to people. A lot of people have been down this path before. There's a lot of craziness out there, and a lot of just wild and crazy stuff. You have to sift through it. You have to take your time. You have to stop wasting time on things that are not beneficial to you, and really focus and study. You have to research. People love you out there. Your oncologist probably thinks a lot of you, but they are not going to do this work for you. This is something that you have to do for yourself. So if you don't feel like it, if you're feeling like, you have cancer and you're just feeling crappy all the time, get some help. Get somebody to help you. One of the things that really helped me, and this is a story that just almost brings me to tears every time I tell it, is that my eldest son, David, took it upon himself to, when he heard that I was doing a keto diet, to research keto. And what he was out to do was to prove to me that what I was entering into was a fad and nothing more than something that was going to be a big waste of time, and he's going to prove me wrong. And instead, he convinced himself that this was the way to go. And when he told that to me, I thought, man, really? And he says, yeah, Dad, what you're doing is great. What you're doing is the best path, and I'll help you research these papers. And he has done that. There are so many scientific papers out there. It's going to take you some time to get all this in the directories and the file folders that you want them to be in, and to access them. There are some great tools out there that help you access stuff quickly that you've archived. But I encourage you to do so, because it can become a life or death thing. And like I tell everybody, cancer does not take a day off. So we got to keep pushing, and we got to keep, making breakthroughs like this. I want to help people. I'll tell you, early on, I think it was in March, when I was journaling. I keep a journal, and sometimes I write for myself, sometimes I write to the divine, the spirit I call it, and say, hey, here's what's happening. I know you can help me through this. Give me guidance. And I feel that Spirit does, through ways of nudges and other people coming into your life, and those intuition things, your heart. And it's just been great. I tell you, it's been awesome since then. And early on, I wrote down in my diary or my journal that this is a turning point in my life, and I feel that if this therapy turns out to be what it is, what people say it is, I want to spread this around the world. I want to tell everybody about this. So that's what, and I think life has prepared me for this, because I have a kind of a background in media and marketing, and also broadcast journalism and the whole works, is that I want to use every social platform that I can to get this word out. And you guys have been a big help for me by spreading the word too, by getting people to follow me, by following me yourself, and by encouraging me. And I just want to thank you for that. And I appreciate you taking the time for this update. Hope it hasn't been too long. From Redondo Beach, California. Look at that. The more I think about it, you really can't see the beach. The beach is, I swear to you, it's over that way. There really is a beach. But this is the marina anyway. It's from the hotel room, and it's a good view. Tonight I'm going to be flying back to Miami, Florida. I have to go back to Naples, repack my suitcase, and then off to San Diego. I know, crazy. But it's work. And you know what? Getting back to work is something that actually made me feel like worthy again, like worth something. I was at home for, all during COVID, and then with the cancer diagnosis up to and through July. And then in August, I said, I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to go back to flying if I can. I work for a major airline, work for American, and appreciate those people have been very kind to me, and also have been very thoughtful and very, they've worked with me every step of the way. So I really love you guys too, as the team there. You got to have these teams everywhere. I mean, that's what makes this thing work. So back to work, and I do feel I'm taking it a trip at a time. I do feel useful. I feel great. I feel full of energy, enthusiastic. Normally I try to bring stuff on my trip that's going to be a benefit to me, that is going to make me feel better, and is going to make me relax more, have more energy. I picked these long layovers. This one here, I think we have either 25, 26 hour layover here at Redondo Beach. So, and that's no short layover anymore for the flight industry. And really enjoying it out here. I've taken a walk, like I said, but now I'm going to rest up because I have the San Diego tomorrow night as well. When I get to San Diego, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to rest up. That's right. I don't want to push too far. I want to keep my energy level great. I want to keep my mental attitude great. And I want to feel useful. So if any of you have any questions, if you have anybody in your family, if you have anybody, relative, whatever, that you would like to have some help, I've been through a lot. I know quite a bit of stuff. If I don't know it, I can direct them in the right direction to get this information. Just have them direct message me here or on Twitter or on Instagram, anywhere, and I would be more than happy to respond and reply and to get them on the right track or to help them with what I'm doing. I don't encourage anybody to do exactly what I'm doing. You have to find out exactly what works for your body. Everybody's body is different. Going to respond different to the different supplements that I take and to the different things that we do. Everybody is different. But in my protocol, I have these pillars in place that I know that will be beneficial to you. There's the diet, the sleep, the fasting, exercise, having the team around you, and probably 2 or 3 other things that I think are like, pillars that are constant, or principles in the protocol that don't change, but say nutritionally and diet-wise, things could change for you because we're all built differently. All right, so thanks again. Share this video if you would, please, and we'll do updates along the way. I'll let you know how it's going with me and the team, and so glad to share with you today. Take care.